Yo, yo, yo. Morning, everybody. Good day, good day. What is up? Hope your day's going well. It's good to see you. Day 23 of Witcher, yeah? Day 23 and so much left. I gotta admit, it's a bit daunting, man. But we're gonna try to really start pushing. We've got most of the unknown locations on the map now for Skellige, so we'll start pushing through all that, and then start pushing all of our quest line in Skellige as well. So before we can start that, let's get into video gaming news. All right, let's get over there. Let's do this. Sorry, guys. There we go. Let's go. All right. Let's see what we got. Game Pass loses one of its best games and gets one of Ubisoft's worst. Fantastic. Let's see what's up. Activision says that premium paid content is coming to Call of Duty. Let's look at Kotaku. I like Kotaku's site. Call of Duty keeps bleeding millions of players. Okay. They have a new game coming out, though. So, let's keep that in mind. They're going to have more people coming back. After admitting their MMO sucks, developer reworks the entire game. Let's see what that is, too. You guys notice what that is? Oh, dude. Yes, Pinky. What's up, dude? Absolutely, absolutely, it is. Yeah, bad news. Gaming is getting more expensive. We talk about that all the time. I'm not going to dive into this article. We talk about how gaming continues to get more expensive, and really, in my opinion, unnecessarily. It's just developers quite often, especially bigger developers, AAA developers, being so primarily focused on being money leeches and not having any kind of focus on remembering what it means to be a developer for the lovers of video games. You know, it's a business. They're absolutely supposed to be making money, but the great extent and the great lengths that companies go to all the time nowadays to try to absolutely suck as much money as possible out of us as gamers anymore is just infuriating. And it just continues to feel bad. Oh man, I'm sorry, buddy. Dude, I'm feeling absolutely beat this morning as well, if it makes you feel any better, dude. It's good to see you though. I did get to see some of the stuff you were putting in Discord this morning. I just didn't have very much time to actually look at much of it. a lot of it was posted while I was asleep. I just got to check. I got to like glance at Discord before sitting down to start the stream up and everything. Yeah. Saw your sleep schedule's all jacked up, dude. Xbox cloud gaming usage increased by 1,800% in what? In the last year. Okay, take a look. We talked about this yesterday, so I'm not going to dive into it. If you didn't see this yesterday, Logitech and Tencent apparently are collaborating to create their own handheld gaming device, right? So, apparently they're saying that blame Stellaris. Right on, dude. Right on. Yeah. Apparently, this is a device that is supposed to be released before the end of the year. That's what we read yesterday. But we still haven't even seen any kind of like mock up for what this device is supposed to look like, even. Um, any kind of hardware specs, anything like that. And we're talking 5 months. Um, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We've read about this as well, so I'm not going to dive into that. I think what was it? Epic was the only one that was really still having issues over there in Indonesia at this point. PlayStation Plus free games for August are now available. What are we talking about? Yakuza, Like a Dragon, and Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remake are kind of headlining that. Isn't that correct? I think that's correct. Let me go back and verify before I misspeak here, but those are the headliners, right? Yeah, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 and Yakuza Like a Dragon are the headliners there. Yep. If you need to read more about it, we've already kind of touched on that a lot. But if you need to look into more of that, what else might be available, there you go. Activision Blizzard sales fall on weak Call of Duty release. Do we just have a Call of Duty release? Oh, last fall. Yeah, I'm not gonna look. I don't. I mean, overall, Activision Blizzard has its issues. They have had their issues for a while. That doesn't mean they don't still have titles that people. It doesn't. They are still a successful company. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made it through all of these significant issues that they've been dealing with. Uh, but it is going to affect their sales to an extent, and you know, we'll see how Microsoft's acquisition of them changes things moving forward. I'm not going to dive into this. This is kind of old news. This is like old Call of Duty release and stuff. We need to see what happens as they move forward, not what's happened in the past. WoW expansion looks pretty cool. That's cool. Cool. Right on. When is that supposed to be releasing? Just waiting for them to completely ruin it before it comes out. Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm just, I mean, the entire situation surrounding Activision Blizzard, the entire thing that I'm just waiting on at this point is for Microsoft to acquire and see if they can actually turn it into a company that I'm willing to support moving forward. That's it. Um, at the core of what video games are and everything like that, I mean, supposed to be about having fun and uh, I don't know, that company has taken a lot of what I used to find fun about their games uh, out of being able to enjoy their titles to me. So I just want this acquisition to um, come to fruition, to complete, and to see what Microsoft can do about ousting Kotick and moving forward with changing that company for the better, man. I haven't even really seen much about the new expansion. When is that supposed to drop? Uh, Apparently, the new WoW expansion is dropping on January 16th of 2007. Okay, guys. Um, Dragonflight, right? Sometime towards the end of the year. So there's nothing specific yet. Yeah, just towards the end of the year. Okay. I'm sure we'll probably see more about it as more news comes, especially with official release dates and things like that. There's an open alpha right now. Really? Have you tried it out? Have you been able to get into it? Or closed or whatever? Well, if it's an open alpha, it means the public's able to get into it. If it's closed alpha, it's not. It's playable. Can you have you gotten to play it? Yo, gamer, what's up, buddy? Oh, we read about this too. It's pretty wild. Somebody turned a toilet into a PC as well. It's still a functioning toilet, but it's also a PC. Oh, well, yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can understand that. This is actually hilarious. EA promises more single player games, even though they just came out and got roasted themselves for roasting people that enjoy playing single player games. EA is such a hot mess, dude. The watch. I've actually got the watch on my Twitter feed already. I think, yeah. Um, I did not spell that right. I'm not gonna die. We've already looked at the watch. Yeah, right here. Um, so yeah, I'm already following the watch. Pretty cool little community here. About primarily, it was created to fight racism within video game communities, and but it's extended to even fight any kind of discrimination, hate speech, things like that. So if I'm always advocating for people to try to you know help create and cultivate better video gaming communities, better video gaming worlds, and this is a great way to do it is by engaging in communities like this, which try to help get companies to have a focus on eliminating that kind of content, those kinds of players from their games. And so I follow the Watch ever since we first came across a article about the Watch on our news segment. I've been following them ever since. I feel like it's a very good group to be a part of and to help in any way you can to make a better gaming world that we all want to be a part of, right? So again, a lot of the reason that this is important to me is because it's not because whenever I get exposed to this kind of hateful these kinds of hateful people in games, it doesn't necessarily affect me in a negative way. But what I'm worried about is its potential to affect other people that might be going through tough times in their own lives, and ultimately toxicity breeds toxicity, and hate breeds hate. It's and anything we can do to just make the environments that we want to engage in on a day-to-day basis a more enjoyable, chill, wholesome place to hang out, be happy in. That's what it's about. So this is a great community to be a part of. I highly recommend if you've got a Twitter account to follow and follow the Watch and engage with these individuals with any kind of because they literally want you to join, watch Twitch, clip racism, and DM it here. Again, it's not just racism; it's primarily set up, with a distinct focus on preventing racism, but they are actually dedicated towards preventing other kinds of hate speech and stuff like that. So there you go. Not going to dive into that article, but that's what the Watch is. So Windows subsystem for Android gets better for gaming. We'll take a quick peek at that. There's that toilet PC again. What? Save $600 on MSI's GeForce 3090 right now. What? X Trio. This is still going to be insanely expensive, yeah? So if you're in the market for a 3090 right now, if you've got just, $1,300, $1,400 laying around to spend on a graphics card, then here you go. Okay, I'm not gonna dive into this article, um, but if you've got the extra pocket change to be throwing around that much money on just a graphics card, there you go, man. It's available. All right. I think the big thing to take away from that is, you know, a year ago, it was incredibly difficult to get your hands on any kind of significant hardware for gaming or for PCs, what have you, tech hardware, especially for computers. You're talking about graphics, discrete graphics cards, GPUs, and CPUs, things like that. Where I mean, I can tell you, whenever I built the PC for the stream, it literally felt like winning just being able to buy these parts at retail, finding a location to buy these parts at retail, knowing I was getting these parts, spending the money myself, felt like a huge win. You know, felt like I won a giveaway or something, like a I don't know, it was crazy, man. You know, because it was so hard to get your hands on these parts. So I think the big thing to take away here is that these parts that have been so hard to get a hold of over the past year and a half to 2 years are finally, supply is coming back, prices are coming down, and that's the big thing that's good for the industry as a whole. Mamzelle, what's up, my friend? How are you? Oh wow, dude. Gamer spends $100,000 on Diablo Immortal. Zowie. Nintendo's reconfirming release windows for major upcoming games. Take a look. Look, we talked about this too. If you want more of a deep dive into what's going on right now in regards to this specifically, so right now, basically, Microsoft is trying to say that Activision Blizzard has no titles in their portfolio that are specifically unique or must have titles for the video gaming industry, because they do not want any of these regulatory entities to have a reason to shut them out of being able to acquire my Activision Blizzard, right? And because what it could do is it could potentially put them in a position to be anti-competitive, right? If and what this really revolves around is Call of Duty. So we've seen that Call of Duty is definitely a very popular game. We've talked about the fact that it's probably going to have a significant impact on being a proprietary game for Xbox moving forward, the kind of impact it could have on people deciding to buy an Xbox over a PlayStation, things like that, right? But what Microsoft is doing is saying that no game in Microsoft or in Activision Blizzard's portfolio is unique or a must-have, because they do not want any of these regulatory committees or entities to see it as a anti-competitive purchase, right? They're not trying to blast Activision Blizzard's titles. They're trying to make it look like they don't have anything that is going to set them above anybody else in the industry by acquiring that company. Uh, yeah, probably. We'll just glance at it real quick, Pinky. Yeah. Much better after seeing the physio yesterday. Nice, Mamselle. Great. That's good to hear. Apple Arcade is losing games for the first time. Upcoming PS5, PS4 games for August and September. Let's take a look. This is that roller game. What was the name? It looks really cool, dude. It's coming to Steam too. It looks really good. It does. Let's take a quick glance at our pivot search here. See if there's anything new we need to look at. What do you mean, just in regards to like what we were saying about Call of Duty? Mamzelle, is that what you mean? Oh, yeah, 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 gamer. I know. I've seen some of that stuff too. Yeah, especially back when it first released. Well, yeah, Mamselle. I mean, the big thing is like specifically in regards to what we're talking about is it's a situation where obviously these titles have or like Xbox and PlayStation have had their proprietary their console only titles for a while now. You know what I mean? Whatever the title may be, but Sony is literally trying to say that Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard sets an anti-competitive advantage for Xbox because of how much of a difference it'll make in the console market specifically, right? So Sony's trying to say that Call of Duty is such a unique title, a game-changing title. It will affect the console purchase, the hardware market for gaming, where people will decide to buy an Xbox over a PlayStation, and then Microsoft's going, no, it won't, even though it probably will. No, 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 no. You're fine. I mean, that's just specifically what we're getting to. You're not wrong. Both consoles obviously have their own specific, you know. I mean, whether you're talking about Call of Duty or Final Fantasy or God of War or no, not well, Call of Duty's going to become one, but it's they've all got their titles right. Spider Man and they've got their titles that don't come out on the other consoles and it's just one of those situations where it's Sony's really worried. Sony's really worried. Microsoft knows that they're being put, they are putting themselves in a really good position, not only with the entire portfolio that they're gathering from the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, but specifically because of the Call of Duty brand, right? And that's kind of the situation that's going on there, yeah. What? The God of War comes to Xbox, sort of? What is this? What is this? U.S. game software developer Unity in talks to. We'll see what that is. Sony's fascinating new PS5 controller concept could shake up video games. See what that is. I'm not gonna dive into this. We've seen stuff about Fight Forever, AEW's first their wrestling video game. We've seen some stuff on that previously. Square Enix. Wait, what? This is weird. Square Enix demands Patreon remove leaked Tomb Raider script. The script for Project Jawbreaker appeared last week. Shouldn't it be Embracer? That would be a weird situation. I wonder because Square Enix apparently is are they are the ones that maybe started the development process, but Embracer's the one that owns the IPs now. So why would Square Enix be the ones that are asking or demanding the takedown? Let's see what's going on there. Let's stick with this. We got quite a few articles here this morning. Let's go with this. Gamer spends $100,000 on Diablo Immortal. Can no longer battle other players. A Diablo Immortal player dropped a heavy amount of money into the game, more than $100,000, and is unable to battle other players. The reason the player claims is that their power level is so high they can literally can't get a battleground. I can't do things that I spend money on this character to do. I have no time frame of when things are going to actually be fixed, or even know if things are going to be fixed, because I'm the only player in the entire world with this problem. Sounds like you shouldn't have spent $100,000 on a video game. Me, I don't know, dude. I mean, that is just so absolutely absurd. I'm sorry, man. I can't fathom that, dude. The amount of good you could do with $100,000 over spending it on a video game. Yeah, gamer, absolutely. Yeah, no. I don't know why it, yeah. It's just, yeah, gamer, you nailed it, dude. He spent $100,000 to be the best in the game. He's the best in the game, and now he's complaining about it. You know what I mean? Like, what an idiot, dude. An investment? It was an investment, yeah. Okay, dude. Is this like for content or something? Is that what this was? We'll read about it. Hold on. Mentioned they had requested help from Blizzard via their official forums and through Twitter, but the response they got was lackluster. The developer stated it was aware of the issue, but nothing has been done since to thoroughly upset. JT is all business mentioned in their video they were considering bringing in attorneys to help iron out the business. Previously, Mike Ibarra, who I'm not a fan of, Blizzard CEO, defended the microtransaction systems in Diablo Immortal, stating that the vast majority of players don't spend any money on the game. Philosophy was always to lead with great gameplay and make sure that hundreds of millions of players enjoy the gameplay first and then feel like they want to keep playing as a way to hook them in and get them to spend money on the game to keep playing and progressing. Let's just be really honest here, okay, about what that entire mechanic is. It is not a new way of going about these kinds of games. The development. The expenses need to max out your character haven't stopped players from spending big on Diablo Immortal. Reached $140 million in revenue in the 2 months since its release. This is also hilarious. In other Diablo news, fans of Diablo can secure access to Diablo 4 if they get a tattoo. I'm going to be honest. At this point, I just kind of hope that the game is an absolute trash bag for everybody that gets a tattoo of Diablo 4. Just so they're walking around with a tattoo of Diablo 4 and the game is an absolute piece of crap. Because that is asinine. I'm all about, like, I'm probably going to end up with, like, I mean, what am I've got an entire, like, thought process behind a large video game tattoo, right? But to get a tattoo of a game, or it's a video game, like, kind of montage tattoo, right? Of things that have, parts of video games that have been part of my life and for a very long time and characters and things like that. But to get tattoo of a game that hasn't even come out yet, And like, I feel like you're just setting yourself up for failure, man. An investment. Yeah. So here's the thing, dude. I think this guy is probably not going to get any money back. I don't think anywhere in this game did Blizzard ever tell anybody that they are going to make sure that if you spend $100,000, they will ensure that you are able to have competitors at that level. Right? That's a down payment on a house. Dude, where I live, that's like a decent house. That's like half a house. I know where you live, it's not, but where I live, that's like half a decent house. you're buying half a house with that. So I don't know, man. This is just beyond me. And not only that, but I mean, even outside the realm of what you could even do for yourself with that money, what you could do for other people with that money. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, I know where you live. It's insane. Yeah. Look, I've lived places like that too. I've lived in the Bay Area, okay? Out there in like San Francisco, out on the West Coast in California and stuff. Whoa, dude. No way. Insane. But where I live now, there's a reason I live where I live now. Yeah, Pinky. Yeah. So, there's a reason I live where I live now. It's smaller, it's chill, it's less expensive. You know, I'm tired of the big city crap, dude. I'm tired of it. I need slow, chill. Dude, I'm tired of like traffic and all that stuff. I'm just done with it. But this is nuts, dude. And Gamer, you nailed it, dude. You nailed it. Yeah. I mean, nobody was making this individual spend this amount of money either, right? And that's what it comes down to, right? And look, when it comes down to it, this is the situation why so many governments in the world are like, this is a gambling mechanic. It sucks people in, and this individual might not have necessarily been addicted to this mechanic, but there are people that get addicted to this type of mechanic, and that's why it's seen as gambling. They spend absurd amounts of money on the game, and then they throw a fit, and they're like, God, I just couldn't quit, and then they want to go after the company for it. And it's like, dude, nobody was making you spend that money, and it creates a huge issue. But ultimately, my big thing is keeping kids away from it. Keeping individuals that are not necessarily mature enough yet to understand what they might be doing with money that isn't even necessarily theirs, that they probably shouldn't have access to either. But keeping kids away from those mechanics is the big thing. Adults are gonna you can't really keep adults from spending money the way they want to spend money without them going, you're violating my rights or whatever. This individual spent the money the way they wanted to spend their money, and now they're going to throw a fit. Sorry, buddy. I feel like you got yourself into this mess, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not even a fan of Blizzard, but you did this to yourself, man. Okay. So as far as that's concerned, I'm just going to side with Blizzard on that one and go, shouldn't have spent $100,000 on a video game. Right, Gamer, there's the same thing I was thinking too, dude. Yeah, absolutely. Right, yeah. How many other people did you actually expect to be spending that much money? Right. It couldn't have been many. You couldn't have been expecting very many people, if any, to be at that level, right? That was kind of my thought process whenever I first started reading it too. Man, I was like, I mean, what did you expect? And I don't care if he thought, even if he's trying to say it was an investment or whatever. Investments don't always pan out. That's a risk. Investments are risks. And if this individual saw this as an investment opportunity, potentially, didn't pan out. Maybe he should have done better research on why this might not have been a good investment strategy for him. You know what I mean? Get wrecked, dude. And get wrecked ultimately for supporting that company in such a crappy game. I don't know, dude. Feels bad. Yo, come back, article. Knock it off. Nintendo reconfirms release windows for major upcoming Switch games. We're talking Bayonetta 3. Nintendo has released its latest financial report today, and as with every one of these, company has updated its list of upcoming releases. Other players just have a skill issue. Yeah, no doubt, dude. No doubt. June and July have been pretty busy months for the Big N, but the rest of the year is looking much calmer. Big N is Nintendo, by the way. This updated schedule does include July's releases, so Live Alive and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 are both here. Yeah, we looked yesterday. Xenoblade came out last week, the end of last week, and it's got pretty high scores already on Metacritic. User scores, there are a lot of Xenoblade fans out there, and there are a lot of 10s being thrown around. So kind of the same thing you saw with like Elden Ring. Yeah. Just 10s being tossed around like it's perfect. You know how I feel about that. But the big news is that Bayonetta 3, Metacritic, professional reviews and everything, the game is scoring very high. If you've ever been interested in playing Xenoblade, the third one apparently is very good so far. It's being rated very high. The big news is that Bayonetta 3 finally has a release date. Platinum Games' third entry in the series locked in an October release date last month. Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope also blasts off in October, though this is listed as winter 2022 in the report. And Pokemon Scarlet and Violet also has an official release date too. The end of the year is looking good. Also got appearance of a brand new Kirby game, Kirby's Dream Buffet. Dude, that sounds like my kind of game right there. Dream Buffet? Let's just eat. This sweet surprise will be coming out on Switch sometime this summer. We'll have to wait a bit longer for an official release date. Otherwise, Splatoon 3 rounds out the list. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, still probably quarter 2 of 2023 right now. And Metroid Prime 4 and Advance Wars 1 plus 2 Reboot Camp are keeping that TBA bench warm. Here, if you guys need to see this list, if you want to bookmark it or anything like that, there you go. Have you guys ever looked into Apple Arcade? I'm not a big Apple fan. It's just not my jam. My first smartphone ever was a iPhone, and I've never gone back. I just wasn't a fan of it. I don't really enjoy Apple products. They're not my thing. So I had my first smartphone was an Apple product, and I just didn't like it. Oh, it does support hot lava? Really? Cool. Okay. Right on. So I've just kind of stayed away from a lot of Apple stuff ever since. That's your entire knowledge about it? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even for somebody like me that's like, my career is, even before I started streaming, was tech, and I even had companies I worked for that had an amount of Apple products that were, purchased for certain individuals within the company, and we had ways of setting them up, and I mean, I personally was partially responsible, and I had, my section that I managed was responsible for maintaining those devices, and I mean, I know a bit about them, but as far as I just don't, I'm not a fan of them, man. I'm just not a fan of Apple products. I know a lot of people are. It's just not for me. And as far as Apple Arcade goes, I don't know much about it other than what we read in the news. Apple Arcade is losing games for the first time. Here's what's leaving. Now, what I do know is that Apple is really, really interested right now in getting competitive in the gaming market to the extent of they have brought in like engineers from Xbox because they're trying to see what they can do about making their own console. So we have read about that. See, I'm like the kind of the exact opposite way. Like I started before I even really got before I even got my degree in tech, I had tried Apple products and was like, nah. I mean, I've always played around with technology, always. But before I even got my degree in tech and went into working in technology, I had messed around with it and wasn't a fan. And then, I've had to deal with it through tech careers and just never gravitated towards it. iPad, iPhone, and I think that's the thing is like, I think that's the big thing for me is like, if you're gonna go Apple, you've got to go Apple, right? I think that's the thing is because, yeah, I'm pretty sure, dude. I'm pretty sure you can. I don't. I mean, I remember back in the day, people were I mean, way back though. They were. I'm not sure about the more current versions. Apparently, they are. Mamzelle says, but I mean, basically, everything gets jailbroken these days, right? I mean, I've always enjoyed Android because it's just a much more open, flexible system. As far as I am regarding tech, I like being able to mess with file systems and alter things. Apple just feels so locked in, you know. Yo, random mode time. Nice. Um, and that's why I really gravitated away from it to a great extent. And it's definitely one of those things where like um, Apple feels like it needs Apple. You know, Apple works very well together, but it doesn't work very well with other devices. And I don't want to just have Apple stuff. That's not for me, man. Um, I'm just not a fan. Respect to anybody that does. Cool, cool, cool. Nice wick. What's up, buddy? They're losing games for the first time on Apple Arcade, though. I mean, specifically, I've never even looked at Apple Arcade either. Issue with relying on subscription gaming services is that among all those new games, it's inevitable some of your faves will eventually depart. Game Pass subscribers deal with this all the time. Yeah, month to month. And now it's the turn of Apple Arcade members to lose access to a fleet of titles. First 15 games to depart Apple Arcade have been removed today. As agreements with the relevant developers have expired, Apple has decided not to renew them. They are as follows: Atone, Heart of the Elder Tree, Battle Sky Brigade, Harpooner, Cardpocalypse, Dead End Job, Don't Bug Me, Dreadnautical, Earth Knight, Explotins, Life Slide, Over the Alps, Projection, First Light, Spelldrifter, Spidersaurus. That sounds awesome. Spidersaurus? I love spooters. Tawaga, Among Shadows, and various Day Life. Now games are leaving. Apple has updated its support site to explain what happens when titles depart the $5 a month subscription service, which is also available as part of an Apple One bundle. Gamers will still be able to play the game for at least 2 weeks after it departs, giving you a chance to make the most of it before it is no longer available. Beyond that, if the dev decides to bring the game back to the App Store as a standalone app, you can purchase it and pick up your saved progress. That will mean buying the game you once had as part of your subscription, but them's the breaks. Yeah. All of these games are touchscreen optimized, but are also compatible with controllers that can be connected to your iPhone, iPad, Apple TV, or Mac. All Apple devices. Yeah. I almost lost 100% of my Apple Arcade knowledge. Yeah, there you go. For anybody that actually engages in Apple Arcade, losing some games. Upcoming PS5, PS4 games for August and September. Somehow made it to August already, dude. No doubt. Like, this year is just flying by, guys. Where does the time go? And that means we're getting even closer to the busiest time of the year for new games. Also, some huge titles ahead our way over the next few months. So it's time to start planning which games you want to play and consider looking in a locking in a pre-order or two. Excuse me. Below, we've put together our usual list of exciting games headed to both PS5 and PS4 over the next couple of months. You'll find some highlights handpicked by us, as well as a larger selection of physical games that'll be available over the next few weeks. Yeah, 2 Point Campus on August 9th. Madden NFL 23 on August 19th. Saints Row on August 23rd. This has already gone gold, by the way. This is shipping on this date or be available on this date. Last of Us Part 1, September 2nd. Stray Physical Edition on September 20th. FIFA 23. And again, remember, this will be the last FIFA game for the foreseeable future EA will ever produce. So this will be on September 30th. That's the list. My bad. If you want it, here you go. The God of War comes to Xbox, sort of. Play as Kratos in War God Zeus of Child. What a name. War God Zeus of Child, which Sony will almost certainly have an issue with. Look at this. God of Warning. The big God of War sequel is one of the year's most anticipated video games. You can now play it on Xbox. Yes, that's right. War God Zeus of Child, which stars Sony video game character Kratos and a horde of identical and generic monster baddies, currently available for just $4.09 on the Xbox store. Oh, you thought I was talking about a different game? Nope. War God Zeus of Child is definitely an approved and legitimate entry in one of Sony's most valuable franchises being sold on a competing console platform. I promise you'll want to play it just based on the game's description. War Gods Zeus of Child is a great game. Great war game. Destroy all enemies and creatures with Zeus War Gods of Challenge. Kill them all with your gun. Launch attacks with various combos. Reach the highest monster kills without dying. Feel the power of the Warning God. And if that didn't sell you on it, check out this gameplay video. What is this, dude?
So that's how the game starts. Just that screenshot. So there's no right stick movement. There's no sound. I'm pressing buttons. Nothing's happening. Okay.
All right, I'll stop joking around now. War God Zeus of Child is pretty clearly some kind of God of War ripoff that somehow slipped through the cracks and was published on the Xbox store. I know Sony has been open about wanting to release more games on mobile and PC, but I can't imagine it has any plans to bring a God of War game to Xbox. It looks great, doesn't it? Yeah. And while Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer has said that God of War Ragnarok, the actual God of War sequel, is the game he most wants to play next, I don't think he'd approve of this knockoff game either. If the poorly written description and extremely rough video don't clue you in, as spotted by Eurogamer, War God Zeus of Child's developer is a company named Dalaka Limited that has snuck another blatant ripoff onto the Xbox store. A Fall Guys lookalike called Dinosaur Falling Survival. Yes, Dinosaur. Look at this. Microsoft's strict certification processes typically don't allow knockoffs to make it to the store. But Eurogamer speculates that Dalaka's titles might be sold through the Xbox's creators program, which lets Xbox developers bypass the typical processes required to publish games. If your game integrates Xbox services and follows our standard store policies, you are ready to publish. We've asked Microsoft what might be going on here and if the games will remain for sale. In the meantime, going to watch the trailer for the real God of War sequel again. All right, dude. That's actually pretty wild. Good times, man. That's funny. Okay. Exclusive U.S. game software developer Unity in talks to spin off China unit. Which is actually kind of... yeah, it's like just a satirical kind of like spin-off game. Yeah, they're just kind of having some fun, I think. Making a little bit, maybe a little bit of money on the side. This is what's really funny about the whole Unity thing. It was Unity that co-opted with Iron Source, right? Yeah, yeah. So Unity has been in the news a lot here recently for us, and from initially a couple of weeks ago, Unity came out and had merged with Iron Source to incorporate more monetization within their applications, right? And what really sparked a lot of controversy here is that Iron Source is well known to have a lot of... Dude, I am absolutely stun locked by an eyelash right now. All right, I think I got it. Ow. Iron Source is well known to have malware within their software, and so Unity got slammed for that. And then a few days later, I keep calling this individual Richard. It's the CEO of Unity, came out and started blasting other software developers for not following the same thought process and actions of them by incorporating other, monetization methods that they were, and they got a bunch of backlash for that. What's up, Wick? What's up, dude? And dang, bro. And then now we've got Unity looking to spin off a China unit. Yeah, I know, dude. Eyelashes kill me, man. I've got these really beautiful... You can't see... I've got these beautiful long eyelashes, dude. And whenever they sometimes they'll fall out and they just get wrapped up in these nice, bright, beautiful eyes too. Not bright this morning because I'm really tired, but it happens, dude. It happens to the best of us. It's a gift and a curse, baby. You know what I mean? But what's funny is there's so many other developers in China that are looking to get out of China. They're trying to move out into other parts of the world because China's had so many restrictions, and they're being really, really what's the word I'm looking for here? Stingy. They're being really stingy with these approvals for like game development and stuff like that. Wick, what
now that we're friends,
dude?
Is it okay if I pet you?
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Look at that 3-head, dude.
Wick 6634 gifted game at stream 69 a subscription. Wick 6634 gifted a tier 1 sub to game at stream 69. They have given 43 gift subs in the channel.
Jeez, dude, that's a lot, bro. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, man. Incredible, dude. Thank you. So while all these other developers are trying to move out of China because of all these restrictions, now we've got Unity trying to move into China. I don't know what's going on, man. Let's see. The Unity, the U.S. developer best known for software used to design video games, is in talks to spin off its China unit to help it expand in the world's biggest games market. 4 people with knowledge of the matter told Reuters. San Francisco-based Unity has sought strategic investors to join it in a business venture at over $1 billion during talks, said two of the people, declining to be identified as they were not authorized to speak publicly on the matter. Unity declined to comment. Its share price closed up over 5% on the news on Tuesday. The talks come as strained Sino-U.S. relations exacerbate sensitivities over technology transfer and data handling across borders, prompting tech firms to reappraise their operations in China. At the same time, there is growing interest in expanding game-making software to new technologies such as the so-called metaverse. Yeah, thank you. An immersive three-dimensional internet. Okay, so Unity entered China in 2012, so they're already there is the thing. And it's eponymous software known as a game engine powers many of the country's most popular games such as Honor of Kings from gaming leader Tencent Holdings and MiHoYo's Genshin Impact. You're funny, dude. Rivals include Tencent-backed Epic Games and the U.S. developer of the increasingly popular Unreal Engine 5. Alright, gamer. Alright, dude. Yo, take it easy, buddy. I hope you have a great day, man. Yeah, thanks for always being here, dude. Enjoy that gift sub. Wick, thanks again for that gift sub, buddy. I appreciate it, man. Unity's spin-off plan is being driven by a desire to see its software used more extensively in China in areas as varied as smart city modeling to industrial design, as well as in the metaverse, two of the people said. Potential investors Unity has been speaking to have made big bets on the metaverse, they said. Yeah, with China tightening data handling regulation, Unity believes a spinoff would aid this expansion as it would give the unit more local ownership and autonomy over how it operates in the country, which could also increase its attraction to local government and state-owned partners, the people said. Spinoff would be one of China's bigger technology deals this year as an investment activity has slowed due to weak economic growth, COVID-19 outbreaks, and regulatory tightening. Unity China Chief Executive Zhang Jumbo has been working on the plan for at least a year, two of the people said. Progress has been further slowed by Unity's share price sinking 80% since its November 2021 high amid weakness in U.S. tech stocks and by a product missing performance expectations. Says Unity would like to hire over 1,000 engineers in the coming years while expanding offices in Beijing and Guangzhou in addition to its main office in Shanghai. Two of the people said Unity's Shanghai-based employees have been asked to sign contracts with the new with the new entity, and it talks about an operating budget separate to its parents are ongoing. While forming a China joint venture carries risk, a notable example being a dispute between British chipmaker ARM and its Chinese unit, Canterman said such JVs have worked well for many Western tech firms, such as HP and Nokia. Having the right local partners can help Unity succeed where others struggle. Okay, so they've already got a presence over there is the thing. They're just trying to build upon that, apparently. Sony's fascinating new PS5 controller concept could shake up video games. Sony has patented a new controller featuring analog sticks with built-in force feedback. This could react to the game you're playing, with the sticks becoming harder or easier to move depending on the game. Ooh, or offering extra vibration. That's really neat. As spotted by Metro, the filing describes how non-Newtonian fluids could create hydraulic resistance in the analog sticks. Non-Newtonian fluids can change viscosity under stress, and examples of such liquids include ketchup, toothpaste, custard, and their blood, none of which we hope Sony is planning to pump into the DualSense controller anytime soon. In the patent, Sony provides the example of a car traveling uphill, resulting in resistance of the joystick becoming greater and gamers having to apply more force. This isn't the first controller upgrade we've heard about via the medium of a Sony patent. Earlier this year, Sony filed for a design including a collapsible controller stick. This means the joystick could retract into the body of the controller itself, allowing for more svelte design. As with all patents, Whether either design will ever see the light of day remains to be seen. They're certainly intriguing, and we can't help but wonder if they're offering a glimpse of the next generation of DualSense. If a PS5 Pro ever makes it to the market, perhaps it'll arrive complete with a Pro controller. Time will tell what's on the way, but Sony is certainly on a roll with new accessories of late. Yeah, dude, yeah. You're like, it just like shoots all over your face. Yeah. The thing that would be odd to me is like, what is it within the controller? It wouldn't just be a fluid within the joystick itself. It would have to be a fluid that is, I would assume, the fluid would be pumped between reservoir into the joysticks and back out and everything to create resistance, or around the joysticks, something like that, down below, to create resistance, which means doing controller maintenance yourself could create more issue. If you're having to deal with like, it's just more of a kind of a hydraulic implementation into the joystick mechanics of the engineering in the controller. I think that's the way I'm picturing it in my head anyways. I could be way off. This doesn't give us a great look. I think this is showing like joystick. This is the fluid, right? This, I think, is the fluid, making the joystick harder to push around and everything. But that's wild. That's pretty cool. That could be really, really neat for games, man. Square Enix demands Patreon remove leaked Tomb Raider script. The script for Project Jawbreaker appeared last week. Crystal Dynamics has filed a DMCA request via Patreon to Last Stand Media after hosts on one of its podcasts read out a script which is reportedly being used to cast actors for the next Tomb Raider game. The script, which was widely reported on, was featured in an episode of the Sacred Symbols podcast. According to host Colin Moriarty, he was contacted by Patreon and asked to remove the offending material or risk being suspended from the platform. According to Moriarty, the DMCA came via Square Enix. The Japanese publisher has agreed to sell Crystal Dynamics and the Tomb Raider IP to him. Okay, so that's where the issue is. Yeah, just like with these other acquisitions, it is not completed yet. So it's been kind of like handshake. We are going to buy these studios. We're going to buy these IPs, but it hasn't come to completion yet, right? So that's why this DMCA request, this to pull down this material, has come from Square Enix still and not Embracer Group. They DMCA'd Patreon to have them ask us to take down the offending audio of us talking about the new Tomb Raider game, Colin said in a video discussing the situation. Interestingly, at the time of the writing, no other platform has received a DMCA claim. It essentially protects platform. Yeah. I was acting in the notion that this is fair use. This is general interest. This is of huge general interest. I didn't break into Crystal Dynamics to steal it. Okay, that doesn't mean that it didn't get leaked and wasn't supposed to be leaked. You don't own it. Fair use is a protection from the DMCA which allows the use of copyrighted content in very specific contexts, usually within the requirement being some kind of transformative take on the material, using clips of a game in the context of a review. Chris's reading of it is insane. There's no way anyone would take it seriously, Colin argues, referring to his co-host Chris Maldonado reading the script in a faux Cockney accent. We're not going to take all of it down unless we are forced to do that, Colin says, referring to the edited version of the podcast that now exists on Patreon. contrasted with the original versions featuring the script reading, which currently on Apple Podcasts and YouTube at the time of writing. According to the alleged script, the next Tomb Raider is internally known as Project Jawbreaker and is described as an action-adventure game set in a modern-day world rocked by a mysterious cataclysm. Dallas Dickinson, Tomb Raider franchise general manager at Crystal Dynamics, said in April that Crystal Dynamics' goal with the next game was to push the envelope of fidelity and to deliver the high-quality cinematic action-adventure experience that fans deserve. In a January video outlining its plans for the franchise's 25th anniversary this year, Crystal Dynamics revealed that Lara Croft's next adventure will unify the timelines in Core Design's original Tomb Raider games and its own reboot trilogy, but warned fans not to expect it anytime soon. We also just read that this new take on Tomb Raider is different. It's not Lara being alone. There are other. It's like a team of Tomb Raiders. This new spin on Lara and the Tomb Raider story and what it's going to have in store for the Tomb Raider universe and story moving forward might take old school Tomb Raider fans a bit of getting used to if they're able to hold on to it at all. Windows subsystem for Android gets better for gaming with latest update. Along with a new build of Windows 11 rolling out to insiders in the beta channel today, Microsoft is also releasing a new version of the Windows subsystem for Android. Though this one is available to all Windows insiders channels, this update brings the Windows subsystem for Android up to version 2206.4.15, and it seems to be heavily focused on improvements to the gaming experience on Android. Specifically, there have been some updates that make it easier to control games. Now possible to control games that use joysticks with directional movement mapped to WASD keys, while games that use aiming and sliding gestures can be played with those controls mapped to the arrow keys on the keyboard. Additionally, you can straight up use a gamepad with Android games that support them, making the experience that much more natural. Gaming is one of the most common use cases why people use Android emulators like BlueStacks, so this update could make Windows subsystem for Android that much more useful for that crowd. Other improvements include scrolling improvements, networking improvements, Android minimum window size default to 220 dp, improved dialogue when unsupported VPN is detected, new toggle to view save diagnostic data in the Windows subsystem for Android settings app, security updates, general reliability fixes, including improvements to diagnostic sizes, graphics improvements. Microsoft still notes that some VPNs may not be supported with the advanced networking features in the Windows subsystem for Android, which is the only known issue mentioned in this release. Worth noting that the Windows subsystem for Android is still only officially available in the US, though it's possible to work around those restrictions if you want to use it in other regions. Microsoft has announced it's planning to bring the Android app support to 5 more markets before the end of the year, but we don't know exactly which ones. All right. If you want more in regards to this particular topic, there you go. It's in chat. After admitting their MMO sucks, developer reworks the entire game. Survival MMO Lost Oasis replaces its mobile force with static bases and is now focused on PvE rather than PvP. If you visit the Steam page for early access Survival MMO Last Oasis, you'll find an article bluntly titled, "Last Oasis Sucks." It's not a post on the discussion page written by a disgruntled player. It's not an opinion piece from a gaming media outlet pulled in by Steam's news aggregator. It was written by Last Oasis's developer. It is a nomadic survival MMO where players construct and travel in land-crawling fortresses called walkers. Entered early access in March 2020 and promptly experienced major server problems. 3 days later went offline and offered refunds. When I say it sucks, I mean I'm not having fun for long when playing it. Not as long as other survival games I enjoy, wrote developer Chads on July 5th. We could argue back and forth why Last Oasis is objectively not fun and what needs to change to make it a great experience, Chads wrote. We did actually four seasons to be precise, and while each season got rid of tons of problems, there was always that one fundamental issue remaining. I, personally, am not having fun when playing Last Oasis for long. It's a pretty refreshing, honest statement for a developer to make, absolutely. Plenty of developers admit when their game has problems, promise to address negative player feedback, and outline plans to change and improve features. Rarely do you hear developers speak frankly about their own experiences while playing their own game, especially when their experiences are negative. Chads goes on to say the developers at Donkey Team decided to think less about what needed to be fixed and more about what needed to be completely rethought. Sounds like a lot has changed. Latest update focuses on Last Oasis has shifted from PvP almost entirely to PvE. The PvE, meanwhile, has gotten much more difficult. World is in every way trying to actively kill you. Sun will make you constantly struggle for survival. Water is precious. Massive, deadly sandstorms can catch you off guard. Meanwhile, aggressive enemy creatures called Rupu are roaming the world and launching attacks on the player. Their structures and walkers. While the main threat used to be other players, now it's the world itself. Walkers have had a major change as well. The nomadic nature of Lost Oasis has been essentially erased, which is pretty wild considering it was a major selling point of the game. Originally, your walker was your base, a big roaming fort filled with your stuff that took you everywhere. And when it was destroyed, typically in PvP, you lost everything. Now, like most other survival games, players will build static bases and use walkers for excursions, exploration, and combat. PvP raids aren't enabled, so players currently don't need to worry about other players destroying their bases and taking their stuff. And while walkers aren't as durable as they used to be, it's easier to build a new walker if one is destroyed, especially since most of your belongings are safely stored back at your base. Realistically, Chads admits this change of focus won't sit well with everyone, especially for those who prefer the PvP focus. Finding the right degree of challenge will be an ongoing process and will take player feedback into consideration. There's fun difficulty, there's challenging difficulty, and there's ridiculous rage quit difficulty. I haven't played Last Oasis myself, especially since I considered other players quickly destroying my entire base to be rage quit level difficult. But these new changes sound more appealing to me. I definitely prefer harsh PvE to harsh PvP, so maybe I finally jump in and check it out. As for how the major update sits with Last Oasis's existing community, it just arrived today after some time on test servers, so we'll have to wait and see. Okay. Yeah, I mean, to have a developer actually be very blunt and upfront about the way they feel about their own game, especially in a negative state, is good to hear. Let's just be very honest about that entire situation, right? Like, if you don't like your game, how are you going to expect other people to like your game, right? So, tell the truth, man. The important thing is, I think that the developer there, Chads, still sees this as a passion project and sees the potential behind it still. So, is committed to finding ways to improve, right? Xbox Cloud gaming usage increased by 1,800% in the last year. Catherine Gluckstein, Vice President of Xbox Cloud Gaming, announced via YouTube that Xbox Cloud Gaming Service has seen an 1,800% increase over the last year, which in turn has prompted them to increase the server capacity. No small leap for cloud gaming. It seems as though gamers are opening themselves up to the concept more and more as time goes on. Currently on the cloud, on Xbox Cloud Gaming, there are over 300 games available where they can be streamed onto the mobile device of choice with ease. While some of the games do come with touchscreen controls available, players can also connect a controller to give for a more console-like experience, as well as a more familiar control option. This latest increase in numbers could give Microsoft that extra push to really start marketing the service, since it already comes free of charge to those who purchase Game Pass. They're expanding servers because of the increase. To date, cloud gaming service, Xbox's cloud gaming service, has over 10 million users throughout 28 countries, and it seems as though Microsoft has no plans on slowing down their growth anytime soon. Yeah, cloud gaming and Game Pass has been very, very, very lucrative for Xbox, no doubt about it. And it continues to trend that way. I think, obviously, PS Plus subscription is eating into Xbox a little bit. Sorry. But ultimately, they've still got a lot of subscribers to Xbox Game Pass, and I think especially if they keep innovating, bringing fresh things to that platform, it'll continue to do well. And it is really kind of, Game Pass is like their golden goose right now, as it were, and their cloud gaming is also doing very well. I think really Xbox cloud gaming and Nvidia GeForce Now, those are the two top of the line cloud gaming services that you can really dive into right now. I don't think any other platform really comes close to hitting either one of those at this point. Game Pass loses one of its best games, gets one of Ubisoft's worst. And here we go. This feels bad after just talking about Game Pass. On the one hand, Game Pass is losing a lovingly made dungeon crawler that says things about the existence of modern life. On the other hand, at least it's getting one of the most callous Ubisoft map games in recent memory. Here's what's coming to Microsoft Games on Demand service in the coming weeks. August 2nd, Ghost Recon Wildlands. August 4th, Shenzhen IO Turbo Golf Racing. August 9th, 2 Point Campus. August 11th, Cooking Simulator. Expeditions Rome. Off-World Training Company. Here's the full list of games leaving as of August 15th. So mid-month, Boyfriend Dungeon, Curse of the Dead Gods, Library of Ruina, Starmancer, and Train Sim World 2. Boyfriend Dungeon, despite the messy bad faith controversy that defined its release last summer, is easily one of the most engaging dungeon crawlers in recent years. Part dating sim, you date people who can transform into weapons and use those weapons to battle the physical manifestations of your anxieties in isometric combat. Not only is the combat a blast, but it also features some sharp dialogue rife with incisive commentary about the good and ill of modern dating. It's a bummer to see it leave. This month's big Game Pass edition, Ghost Recon Wildlands, has a lot less to say. Sure, Ubisoft's co-op shooter sports solid gunplay, an impressively large, if not exactly lively open world, but it's also a politically abhorrent, borderline propagandistic game portraying Bolivia as a narco state overrun by cocaine-running cartels. You play as a squad of U.S. Special Forces swooping in to save the day. Ubisoft did such a poor job at representing the country that Bolivia's interior minister sent a formal letter to the French government and threatened legal action. But hey, at least Turbo Golf Racing, a game that basically looks like Rocket League grafted onto a golf course, and also a game that I'm only just learning about today, looks super cool. Here you go. If you need this list, throw it in chat. All right. Throw it in chat. There it is. Activision says that premium paid content is coming to Call of Duty in 2023. Big surprise, huh? It's rumored that Activision won't release a mainline Call of Duty game in 2023 and could use DLC to fill the gap. Activision has confirmed that new premium content... stop. New premium content for Call of Duty is planned for 2023. Activision commented on the series and its plans, referencing its teams and studios preparing to support its games with substantial live operations for next year and beyond. Across the Call of Duty ecosystem, teams are well positioned to support these launches, with substantial live operations, while also continuing development of new premium content planned for 2023 and beyond, Activision said in a statement during its Q2 2022 earnings report. Reports from earlier this year mentioned that 2023's Call of Duty could be delayed to 2024. This would be the first time since 2004 that a year would pass without a new mainline Call of Duty game, which has had an annual release schedule since 2005's Call of Duty 2. I think there are some important things to take into consideration here regarding Call of Duty. We've talked about it a lot, but first and foremost is the acquisition of Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard. That probably has something to do here with Call of Duty's releases moving forward, at least short term, right? So they're probably holding off on giving any kind of release date till Microsoft comes in, the acquisition process is fully completed, and Microsoft can fully take hold of this process moving forward. Secondly, a big deal to note here with Call of Duty franchise is that traditionally a lot of these Call of Duty games have been made on different engines. They announced earlier this year that all of the Call of Duty games moving forward would all be built on the same exact engines moving forward. And that is potentially going to result in a little bit of time for them to adjust and get used to in regards to development of these titles as we move forward. So there are some things to take into consideration in regards to why this might be happening, and I think those are two of the primary ones. The company also mentioned that progress on Warzone's mobile edition continues to look strong. Players can expect an innovative mobile experience when it launches. Activision also mentioned that second quarter revenue and operating income had declined year over year due to lower engagement for Call of Duty, but that it began to rise again in the first quarter. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is scheduled to launch on October 28th, and Warzone 2 is also expected later this year and will likely increase engagement in the series. If everything goes to plan, the proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard by Microsoft is also expected to be finalized next year after it's approved by various government regulatory bodies across the world. Over in Brazil, newly published documents by that country's business watchdog group has revealed that Sony believes Microsoft's ownership of Call of Duty could persuade users to switch to Xbox in the future. We talked about that this morning. We talked about this we saw this specific article, or a specific article addressing this issue, I think 2 days ago. I think it was August 1st edition of Video Gaming News. You can go back and take a look. And that's why we've continued to address this as we've moved forward. There's a lot going on here in regards to, the acquisition of Activision Blizzard by Microsoft has been a huge deal ever since it was announced. And we've known ever since it was announced that was going to happen. There was going to be more to come in regards to the specifics of why this was going to be such a big deal, right? And we continue to see some of that as this rolls out. And this is just another example of why this is such a big deal, right? Call of Duty, this is the last article that I have for today, okay? For August 3rd's edition of Video Gaming News. This is the final article that I have pulled up. If anybody has anything they would like to add to the segment for today, please let me know in chat, and I'll address it before we end today's Video Gaming News segment, okay? Call of Duty keeps bleeding millions of players. Activision's blockbuster franchise flounders in the wake of Vanguard. Success is relative. Many gaming companies would kill for a blockbuster franchise that's an annual top seller like Call of Duty. But for embattled publisher Activision, anything short of top billing month after month isn't enough. And Call of Duty has recently been falling short more and more. Publisher revealed in its latest earnings report that its games lost over 30 million players in the last year alone. While Activision has published games like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 and Crash Team Racing Nitro fueled in the past, the bulk of its monthly active users come from Call of Duty. By the end of March 2021, that number was 150 million. Yesterday, Activision revealed it had fallen to 94 million. That speaks to broad struggles across the franchise, but especially in Vanguard, the newest Call of Duty game released last fall. Its campaign was a brief and underdeveloped hodgepodge of World War II globetrotting, and the multiplayer didn't fare much better. In June 2021, the previous year's Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War was the second best-selling game. In June 2022, Vanguard didn't even make the list. Activision's monthly active user count more than doubled after it released Call of Duty Mobile in 2019 and then Call of Duty Warzone in 2020. But growth in those areas seems to be backsliding or flat at best. Warzone in particular has struggled in part because of delays, bugs, and crossover updates tied to Vanguard earlier in the year. The company's solution to all this is simple: more Call of Duty. The company confirmed in its report that it's doubling down on every facet of the military shooter, claiming the end of the year will usher in a new era for the franchise. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 comes out on October 28th. A Call of Duty Warzone 2.0 experience will be spun off of that. And Call of Duty Warzone Mobile is also still in the works, though Activision didn't deny Bloomberg's report that a major Call of Duty plan for 2023 had been delayed. And if none of it works, well, that's no longer CEO Bobby Kotick and the rest of Activision Blizzard leadership's problem. Unless it hits regulatory snags with a newly emboldened Federal Trade Commission, the company will be sold to Microsoft for $69 billion by next summer. The current executives will be on the hook for millions in bonuses, even as many current employees still call for greater accountability on discrimination and other reported workplace issues at the publisher. And I think the bigger issue here for Bobby Kotick is that he's probably going to be ousted whenever Microsoft buys out Activision Blizzard. He needs to be. In my opinion, this individual needs to be gone. Probably should have been gone a long, long time ago. And if Microsoft actually wants to change this company for the better, I think that it has to start with getting this person out as CEO. That's what I've got, guys. That's what I've got for today. Another fantastic day of video gaming news, staying current on what's going on in the industry. I love it so much. I appreciate all of you being a part of it as well. And we're going to be moving on to some Witcher 3, day 23 of our Witcher 3 playthrough. Yeah. If you are watching this as a VOD on YouTube and you're enjoying the content, see what you can do about coming and hanging out with myself and all the other outsiders in this community when we go live at 6 o'clock a.m. CST every single day, and we start all of our streams off with video gaming news, okay? Also, if you're enjoying the content, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button, okay? And maybe leave me a comment so we can have some discussion regarding some of these topics that we went over today in this segment. Other than that, you guys just stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another, and I'll catch everybody tomorrow for August 4th edition of Video Gaming News.